Welcome back, Masters of Magic and Illuminaries of Illusions, to Nova's First Reacts, the place where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as you come to me first to see me react to things. Now, a couple of days ago, I released Allure Queen Explained, and otherwise, that's an archetype I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but they did get new support in Animation Chronicles 2024, and history has repeated itself. The Performages are here. Now, I was going to rope these together with Performapals at some nebulous point in the future when we cover those, but now that they have a whole big showcase in the latest pack, well, I might as well give it to him. Dennis deserves a bit of a W. I hate on that guy enough as it is, even though they basically made a character that's just me. Sometimes a funny little guy sees a goofy little guy, and they start a blood rivalry that lasts for all eternity. But I can respect the hustle. Let's see what the new cards have in store for us. Beginning with Performage Fire Dancer, level 4 Fire Pendulum Monster, scale 6, 1400 attack, 1200 defense. As a pendulum spell, you can target a Performage monster that you control. This turn it deals piercing battle damage. Okay. As a monster, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Performage monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of itself. Searcher. If this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can target a face-up monster on the field and it gains 500 attack. Now, that is one of the prevailing themes of the Performages. Pendulums ended up gearing towards this playstyle where they would set up scales, get their effects, and they might not be good starting out. Heck, if you didn't have a filled-up extra deck, it wasn't doing anything for you anyway, so you would destroy those scales, make room for new scales, and then pendulum summon those destroyed scales out. Performages have a few monsters that benefit from this, namely Plush Fire, which, if I have heard correctly down the grapevine, is getting a errata later on down this list, and it could use it. This one leans into that by just giving a boost, which is good because our current boss monster, Trapeze Magician, is potentially a multi-attacker, so making it so they can close out games faster, not terrible. And it's also a Stratos on top of it. And whenever you have a Stratos attached to a pendulum summonable monster, okay, Performage Water Dancer. Scale 2, level 4, 1200 attack, 1400 defense. You can only use the 1 and 2 pendulum effects of this card once per turn, and you can only use the 1 effect once per turn of its monster form. For Pendulum Spell, its first effect, if you control a Performage monster, you can special summon this card right out of your pendulum scales. Pretty neat. And when a monster declares an attack, you can target a monster on the field in attack position and change it to defense position. Okay, so it doesn't care who controls the monster, so you can attack and make one of their monsters go to defense position, which is usually the worst stat, or if they attack, you can swap into defense position. That's pretty funny. As a monster, if this card is pendulum summoned, you can add a polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Notably, it is not a polymerization card, but being able to recycle base poly is still pretty good. And if this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can target a monster on the field in attack position and change it to defense position. So it's just kind of the pendulum effect again, just for more battle position swapping. I wonder if it's finally time to bring Trick Clown into it. Was Trick Clown a secret Performage this entire time and we just didn't know about it? Performage Windsucker. Level 5 Wind Spellcaster. 2100 attack, 0 defense, scale of 4, so we don't necessarily want to scale this. But as a pendulum spell, once per turn, you can target a Performage monster you control and choose one of these effects. Either increase its level by 1, or increase this card's pendulum scale by the target's pendulum scale. Oh, okay. So I stand corrected. Actually, this is the best high scale in the deck. Now, granted, we do need to have a Performage monster in play to do that. But if we can hit another, like, scale 4, this goes up to scale 8. We had a scale 6 previously with Flame Dancer. That means you have a scale 10. And with no restrictions as far as I can see, that opens up the door to a lot of stuff. As a monster, you can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. If only your opponent controls a monster, or if you control a Performage monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters while it's in the monster zone except Performage monsters, so it utilizes that Conditional lock, that's been pretty popular recently, where it only applies it while a card is face up on the field. This was pretty famous with Sword Soul and their Sword Soul Tuner tokens. Good to see it being added here. If this card is special summoned, you can decrease its level by 1. You don't have to, so it can be either a level 5 or level 4. Very important for the Xyz summoning aspect. And once per turn, you can make all level 4 Performage monsters you control become level 5. So you can turn it 4, and then all your 4s can become 5, so you have access to that. Wonder if they'll add a rank 5 into the mix here that we can play around with. Performage Cup Tricker. Something I don't like how that I don't like the mouth feel of the word Cup Tricker. I don't know. Level 5 light spellcaster, 1200 attack, 1400 defense, scale of 1. You can only use the first and second pendulum effect of this card once per turn. The first pendulum spell effect, you can target a Performage Xyz monster you control and attach this card to it as material, so right from the scales into the monster. If this card is added to the extra deck, you can add a face-up Performage Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. That does not exclude itself, so if it gets destroyed, it goes to the extra deck. You can either put it back into your hand or a different Performage Pendulum monster. If this card is in your hand, this is the monster effect, by the way. If this card is in your hand, you can target an Xyz monster on the field. Detach one of its material, and if you do, special summon this card, then one Xyz monster on the field loses 600 attack. Hey, Goblin Riders called. That's their shtick. Why are you taking stuff from the Gobos? This is another proactive way to get rid of Xyz material. Once again, Pearly has a new ancient enemy, though nothing's stopping you from detaching your own Xyz material, at which point it just kind of gives you a little extra way to summon this out. Though it is a mandatory debuff, so if you're the only one with Xyz monsters, you will have to debuff that monster, but maybe you'll use it for something and it won't even matter. And lastly, if this card is detached and sent to the graveyard to activate the effect of an Xyz monster, you can target 2 Xyz monsters you control and attach one to the other. Now, it does not say that it transfers the material, so this is best used on an Xyz monster that has done so you're not losing material, but it gives it a little extra material to work with. And it's generic, so it can be used for anything. I wonder if someone will figure out something devious to do with that. Because, like, what? You can put it in the scale, attach to a Performage Xyz, and then detach it for that material to get this effect. We don't have the full picture yet, but what we are seeing is a fusion monster. This is a high treason, I guess? For those of you who don't know, and big spoilers for our good friend Dennis. No, wait, I'm getting my wires crossed here. Him having an Xyz monster, once again, spoilers, him having an Xyz monster was a cover for the fact that he was part of Academia. This is his true colors shining through. Performage Trapeze Force Witch, a level 7 spellcaster fusion monster with 2400 attack and 1800 defense, requiring any 2 Performage monsters as material. Performage monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. Huh? You control cannot be destroyed by... Oh, they cannot be... Oh, they can't be destroyed by yours, and they can't be targeted by your opponent. Okay, there we go. I forget, does Trapeze Magician destroy? Because if so, then that would mean that this bypasses the destruction effect on Trapeze Magician, because what it does is it's a quick effect, but it only affects the turn player. You pick one of their monsters, they can attack twice, but it's destroyed during the end of the battle phase. And if it is destroyed, then this would get rid of all of your negatives, while giving you some sweet targeting protection. If it's Send, though, this doesn't help with that. While you control other Performage monsters except copies of this card, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attack, so it's not an attack redirector to itself, it spreads it out. And when your Performage monster declares an attack on an opponent's monster as a quick effect, you can make the opponent's monster lose 600 attack. Notably here, unless there is a lack of information, this card does not have any once per turn or soft once per turns on there. So you can keep attacking and that monster loses permanently 600 attack. This can help you, like, if you need to burn a monster to lower someone's attack so another monster can get over, that's pretty good. If your monster was already big enough, you're going to be dealing some extra damage. Force Witch is already at 24, so this thing can go toe-to-toe with 3,000s. That's pretty neat. Okay, Performage Painter Shadowmaker. This is the rank 5, so this is what we're going to try to use Windsucker to help make. Rank 5, it takes 3 level 5 monsters of material. Normally we save that stuff for the Chaos Exceeds. You can only use the first and third effect of this card once per turn. Number 1, let me scoot up a little bit. Oh, that looks dazzling. You can detach a material from this card, then send a Performage monster from your deck to the graveyard. Add a rank-up magic spell from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it's a foolish of a Performage that adds any rank-up magic spell. When this card is targeted by a card effect, you can detach a material from this card to special summon a Performage Painter Shadowmaker from your extra deck. So another one of these. If all material are detached from this card, you can special summon a Performage monster from your graveyard. Okay. So we actively want to get rid of the material here. So that's what the Cup Tricker is there for. Get the material out from under this if it gets targeted. By any effect. It can be anyone's effect. And because it summons a new Shadowmaker, it'll not have material, so it can special summon from the graveyard. Ooh, that's getting goofy. I guess the issue now is just making this in the first place. Granted, though, getting 2 level 4 monsters in Performages is easy as cake, and then you can just summon Windsucker right next to it. This doesn't seem particularly difficult to make, and then we'll have all kinds of material. We do have 2 rank 5 monsters, but I think things like the Utopics need the monsters to have different names, so I don't think it'll help with that in particular. But it is a 2,600 point body, and it is free material, so... oh my god. It's also worth noting that it is the first and third effect that have the hard ones per turn on there. The one that if you target it, it gets you another Painter Shadowmaker. You can do that as many times as you want in a turn. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's goofy. Okay. Performage Trapeze High Magician. Rank 5 light monster. Requires 2 level 5 spellcasters, so doesn't need as many material, but they do have to be spellcasters to make this work. This card with material cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Okay. If you would take effect damage inflicted to your opponent instead, you can only apply this effect a number of times per turn up to the number of this card's current Exceeds material. If this card has Performage Trapeze Magician as material, it gains the following effect. You can detach a material from this card. During each battle phase this turn, this card can make up to 3 attacks. Unrestricted. Huh? That's incredible. So it reflects effect damage, which you do to yourself all the damn time with this deck. So there's that. It has destruction protection while it has material, and if we rank it up, perhaps with a rank up magic spell that is provided to us by a certain shadow painter, this card is a triple attacker on 2,700. Not bad. Potentially 32 if we trigger the, I think it was Flame Dancer effect. Hubba hubba. Next up, rank up magical force. I hesitate to see what would happen if it was anything but that. Quick play spell card, you can only activate one of these per turn. Target a rank 4 spellcaster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but its effects are negated. And if you do, special summon a rank 5 spellcaster monster from your extra deck using it as material. And if you do, attach this card to the special summoned monster. This is treated as an Exceeds summon. So we want the Trapeze Magician in the graveyard. We can probably just link it off or any number of things. Summon it out, make Trapeze High Magician. It'll have 2 materials because of the Trapeze Magician under it and the quick play spell card. And attach it, and it's a triple attacker that turn. Seems pretty good. And we want to be doing some kind of Painter Shadowmaker at some point to get that rank up magic spell card. Though we can get any of them. Let's not narrow our possibility space here. Rank up magic spells are pretty good. Pretty strong. Alright, lastly is Performage Plushfire's new errata. You can only use this card's monster effect once per turn. The rest is identical, and that is basically a lot of what we had to do to fix this card. For those of you who don't know, Plushfire's effect is that if it's destroyed, you can special summon another Performage from your deck, something like that. What made it so strong is that it was not once per turn. If you put 2 of these in scale and you hit Wavering Eyes, that was 2 Performages that you got. Now, it's just a once per turn float into a new Performage. Doesn't seem too bad to me. This is interesting. So what does this accomplish right now? Painter Shadowmaker, combined with Windsucker, is not too difficult to get a hold of. Using Cup Tricker, we can manipulate the Xyz material underneath them. Or at the very least, we can just trigger the second Shadowmaker summon to get more Performages. And then the one that we hard made gets us the rank up magic spell card. The issue at that point is getting enough material to make the Trapeze Magician to make High Magician. Obviously, we can just take 2 level 5s and make this, but then it's lacking the Chaos Xyz effect. This is so weird because, yeah, the Chaos Xyz rank up versions require the multiple material. This is just a guy. This is still pretty strong, though. And then we randomly have fusion support. We can just turn 2 of our Performages into a pretty sick fusion monster, and we have a Polymerization Searcher. What is it? Damage Juggler is a really good one to have in the graveyard. You can always force it by going to battle phase to save from the damage that you would incur from battle, but instead we can just fuse it to make Force Witch. And now we have targeting protection, protected from our own destruction effect, so we can Dark Hole all we want. We have some more competent scales. Fire and Water Dancer aren't... Oh, I guess Fire Dancer is huge. It is a Strato, so that's pretty big. Water one I'm a bit cooler on, but it is a Poly Searcher, so... This is a really strong series of cards walking into an era where spellcaster monsters have been getting better and better. If anything, what are the stats on some of our monsters here? Windsucker is 2100, so that doesn't count. But the rest of them are all lower than 1500 attack, which means that, you know, I hate to shill another video that I've already done, but Allure Queen's new gimmick is that they summon spellcasters with 1500 or less attack. So while it's supposed to help them rank up, you can't just grab any of these with them and go to town with their effects if there's any overlap with those at all. I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm gonna start getting to work on the explain video for this one. If there's a reasonable enough expectation that this is all of the Performage cards, give it a couple of weeks and we will get the full breakdown of what I expect Performages to do. But now I'd like to hear what you all have to say. Inform me about all the interesting Performage knowledge that you have. Give me some sweet texts, combos, all that nonsense. I'll be looking through there for anything that you have to share. It's always appreciated. Thank you so much for stopping by to Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things that you want to see reacted to first if you come to me to react to things first. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by my lovely patrons, as well as the lovely people over at Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. Today's episode is also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Simic Toadstool and Upstairs Media, Nebula Navigators 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Owexitowa Yume, Anansi Dragon, Andrew Newman, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Emily Chan, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Gloomba 331, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Mana Charge, Marion James E. Picata, Megacombi, Millennia Asta, Nathan Vig, Natiel Lee Alexander, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer,
Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sammy Haim, Scott48, Serenity Towns, Skybuster Leo, the Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders, a Random Pup, Ariel Kersey, Baron Von Titty Sprinkles, Beelsifer, Bernag, Blitzwolf, Borger with a Shotgun, Chaz Ghost, Childish Lamar, Dr. Reaper, R.I.P., Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Ignis, the True Draco Slayer, Jester Designs, Kale the Dragon, Kevon Public, Lemon Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Michael Shimabukuro, Nitromo, Nyx, Obsidian, Shizuka Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, Taylor Seymour, Terror Top to 3, The Legendary Raven, The Pokemon 52, Tiger X2476, Visor KG, Zaldreka and Zalus, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, and be a part of these credits, along with other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description, or consider joining as a YouTube member.